Welcome to You Could Talk Chalk, a space where we chat with odd-defying, way-making, change-agent entrepreneurs. We hope you enjoy their stories, insights and experiences, and it inspires or encourages you to continue on your entrepreneurial journey. Because you could talk chalk, we're going to get it done. What's up, YCTC fam, and welcome back to another episode of the pod. Our topic today is balancing work and life as a small business owner, strategy for you, the small business owner. And today we have somebody that I've been watching for a while on the good old TikTok. We have Lesley Reece with us. Hi, Lesley. Welcome to the pod.
Thanks for having me.
Your snaps. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Lesley. You are actually a doctor.
I am.
That's interesting. Tell us about that journey from 9 to 5, medicine to coaching women. Tell us about that.
So it actually starts about 10 years ago.
Okay.
Where not to start on a low, but that was when I went through a divorce.
Okay.
And because of experiences that I had, not just in my marriage, but prior to that, I was like, okay, this is not ideal, but it's something that you can use to help other people.
Okay.
Right?
Your experience.
My own experience.
Okay.
Exactly. So at that time, I had the urge, okay, I need to help other women. I'm not quite sure how yet, but it's going to come. I just need to, sit on this, meditate on it, pray about it.
Right.
And the answer is going to come.
Right.
So fast forward now.
10 years later.
Exactly. And I know I'm in a position where I coach women.
Okay.
This is after starting coaching training about in 2020 during COVID, where everybody had time to sit and think.
We all had time.
And figure out our life choices.
Right.
Yeah. So it started then. It started with the content creation, which at first was just about, expressing my creative side, which is quite a significant part of me.
Right.
And coming out of that, I was like, okay, you're reaching people. People see you as relatable. People see you as funny. So how about meshing those two things to reach the women that you want to reach, to show them that, you're not alone in your struggle.
Right.
We all go through a struggle. It's just for us to actually come together, help each other, don't tear each other down, and great things can happen.
Each one help one.
So I've been a doctor for the last 16 years.
Okay.
And while I love medicine and I was very passionate about it, I'm of the firm belief that as we grow, as we evolve, our passions can change, right? And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
Correct.
That's something that I absolutely want to say to women. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. What tends to happen is people tend to put us in a box. So even with starting with coaching, and I wrote a self-care manual, I created a journal.
I have that journal.
Yes, thank you. So doing all those things, sometimes people would ask, oh, but aren't you a doctor? Like, there's so many sides to me.
Correct.
We are all multifaceted individuals.
Correct. I love that word.
And while there are people who are afraid to step out of the box that everybody has put them into, I'm not, right? I very much am about staying true to myself, making sure that I am happy regardless of what that looks like to other people. And I actually have stepped away from one area of medicine, general practice, so that I could focus solely on coaching women and helping women, and going forward in a way that I know I'm pouring into somebody else, even if it's just one person, right? The fact that I would have touched somebody in that way means the absolute most to me.
Okay, there's a lot to unpack, but everyone that comes on the pod, I ask them one question. What is your definition of an entrepreneur?
So my definition of an entrepreneur is, I'll start with what I don't think it is, right? Yes. So lots of people think an entrepreneur is somebody who just starts a business and plugs away at that business. For me, it's so much more than that. Being an entrepreneur means that I am living in my truth.
Okay.
I am chasing the dream that I had that was placed on my heart, right? I'm very spiritual, so I believe that any dream placed on my heart was placed there by God.
Correct.
And there's a purpose for it.
That's right.
So for me, being an entrepreneur is actually, you know, chasing that and doing everything that I can to see that come to reality. Being an entrepreneur also for me is, you know, whatever your business is helping somebody else. Right? Regardless of what your business is, it's to help somebody else. And that's a service, right? And actually my business coach would say to me, selling is the highest form of service that you can have. Because as I said, you're helping somebody else. You're giving something to somebody else that they clearly need. Otherwise they would not have come to you. Right? So for me, that's what entrepreneurship embodies. It's not just about having a business.
I love that. So you were a general practitioner doctor who had it on her spirit to coach women, who learned in the Panasonic, aka pandemic, that we went through in 2020, where all of us decided we were going back to school. We were going to learn, because we had nothing but time. So how I passed the time was good old TikTok. And that's where I first saw you. And you hit the nail on the head when you said, you know that you're relatable and funny, because girl, you are hilarious. And you are one of the first local creators that I started following on TikTok.
Oh, wow.
So tell me how you balanced medicine, because as a general practitioner, COVID would have probably been a little bit challenging for you if you were working as a figure all doctors, it was all hands on deck. But you were still real active on TikTok. So tell me how you managed being a content creator, a doctor, and still trying to guide your life to come to this point where you are now at. Tell us about that.
You know, and I just want to add something. In addition to being a GP, I was also working at Harson's Point. So
yeah, tell us about the mental health aspect of that.
Yeah,
because
that was rough. That actually was rough. But in terms of time management, my friends will always say to me, Lesley, you got the same 24 hours in a day that the rest of us have.
Right.
And I don't know, for me, I'm such an organized person.
Yeah.
So time management, I think, comes to me easily.
Okay.
Because I write everything down. I like pen and paper. I old school. It's going to be on my phone, but it's going to be on pen and paper as well. And everything that I need to do in a particular day, I set out. And I might even put a time to it. So I'm doing this for an hour and a half. Doing that for 2 hours, what have you. And granted, things happen. Sometimes things don't go according to plan. But I'm also a very pragmatic individual. So if something doesn't go according to plan, okay. I'm not going to cry over spilt milk.
You can just pivot and see.
Exactly. So for me, it was about, because things like self-care and making sure that I feel good, not just in my body, but in my spirit, in my mind, is so important to me. So TikTok was a creative outlet. That was a way for me to step away from the harsh realities of what was going on in the world.
I think for everybody.
And at the same time to cheer other people, lift other people up. I got so many and still get so many DMs from people who are like,
you have no idea.
Listen, your post got me through the day.
Hilarious. And I was like, she makes it, because there's some TikTok content that's like, this is a little far-fetched. But I was like, girl, I would be reacting like, is that not the truth? There is still a video that you sent probably 2020, early 2021, they put up. That is still circulating in my sister group chat. Like it is still a relatable point. We talk about it all the time. So share a personal experience. We just mentioned you were at Harson's Point. I can only imagine how that was. So tell us how you manage. You mentioned time management, but tell us how, and I'm thinking or hoping you can let me know if I'm on point here. At that kind of time, you were really thinking to kind of pivot into your business. So tell me where your mind was and how you balanced business. So it's business, work, and life. So we're juggling 3 things now. So as a soon to be or coming into a small business owner, kind of guide the YCT fam as to like how, Because there are a lot of them out there that are still doing a 9 to 5, thinking about opening a business and still juggling life, especially women, kids, marriage, still want to go to the gym, still want to look a certain, you know. How can we juggle that? Give us some tips as to how we can do that.
What I would say is you cannot do everything at once, right? Women especially tend to be prime multitaskers, which is good, but then it could also be bad because we tend to put too much on our plate at once, right? You might have 7 things to do, but it is about delegating.
Yes. Which we will touch on a little later.
Exactly. Delegating. So wherever you can find help, use that help.
Right.
Whether it's paid help, whether it's close friends who see your vision and are willing to assist. Right? If it is that you feel more comfortable doing everything at this point, especially starting out for whatever reason. Some people might want to have like a firmer hand on the business before delegating any tasks.
Correct.
That's absolutely fine. But you need to say, okay, well, on Monday, we do these 2 things. On Tuesday, we tackle 3. On Wednesday, I want to get a little bit of rest, do something for myself. So either nothing or just 1 task, right? Everything is going to come together. I feel like we tend to have this idea that if I'm not constantly busy, if I'm not constantly doing something related to my business, then I'm not being a good entrepreneur. I'm not being a good business owner. And we also tend to look at other people, right? When you look at somebody else, you're only seeing
surface level. You don't know how many people are running behind them.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
You don't know what's happening in the background.
Correct. And you are not at that space, and that's okay. I think another thing we're going to touch on, and that's the next question, is boundaries. So what advice would you offer entrepreneurs about establishing boundaries between work and personal life? And boundaries is a word that I feel like I use it too much, but it's something I had to come in as a formal people pleaser, like someone who I could not say no to clients, to family. So now I couldn't say no without it being a complete sentence. It was usually like, no, but I have, with an explanation. So I had to get to the point of no, full stop. Like there is no multiple dots, and then it's just no. So what advice would you offer? Because I think for small business owners to understand that, they have to establish a firm set of boundaries. So what advice would you offer entrepreneurs about establishing boundaries between work life and personal life? And how do you ensure these boundaries remain effective and respected, especially that last word? We do not like to respect each other's boundaries at all.
We don't. So first of all, I want to say, meet your sister, because definitely I was a people pleaser. I could not say no without qualifying it. Right? Which we now know is absolutely not necessary.
Correct.
Just as you said, no is a complete sentence.
It's a complete sentence.
But as far as maintaining boundaries, you have to be firm. Right? And one of the things that I've coined, a phrase that I've coined, and I say it repeatedly to my clients, to my friends, a boundary not enforced becomes a gateway. Okay? So when you don't enforce your boundaries...
Y'all heard what she said. We can stick a pin. I feel like putting on a shirt. If we see some merch, girl, I'll quote you.
No problem.
Say that again.
A boundary not enforced becomes a gateway.
That is so true. Oh, that's so true.
Yeah. So the minute you don't respect your own boundaries, why should somebody else?
So let go of my shirt, my Leslie. Jeez, I got me grapple up on my phone show. It's so true though. I had to learn to my boundary establishment came through errors or issues in business. When I had to and this is a story I haven't talked about, and I could as well air it out on my own show. I had to refund the client. And that was hard for me because I felt like an absolute failure. But I had to end up refunding that client because I did not establish correct boundaries and protocols from the beginning. So I opened the gateway to a poor service, or what she thought was a poor service. But for me, I had nothing to work with. And then me being incapable of saying, I don't think that this is something I can do. or that time that I'm open to, or willing to work with. And if I had set that boundary from the beginning, I wouldn't have been $1,500 poorer because of it, right? Simply because I did not establish that boundary. So I also find in business ownership, in the small business world, we do not respect each other's boundaries and rules either. And I don't think we can command that respect of our clients if we're not doing it with each other.
Exactly.
Right? So establish boundaries, people. Do not not say no. Say no. And say it firmly.
Exactly.
It's like with a full stop.
And you don't have to qualify it.
Yeah. Like tell people nah.
No.
In a nice way. Don't be crusty.
Exactly. But you know, that's why I always say that I think people, when we talk about boundaries, people always think immediately that you're being brash or you're being rude or whatever. There are nice ways. It's all about how you say things and not what you say.
Grandmother would always say, boy, it's not what you say, it's how you
say it. Correct. So I think we need to come away from this idea that if I say no, or even not right now, or I'm sorry, I can't help you, that we are immediately going to be viewed as monsters or what have you. And that's absolutely not true. The way that you will be viewed is as somebody who knows what they're about, who respects themselves, and who values their business, values their time, values their space. So I like to say, you have to train people.
You have to train people.
You have to train people.
Oh, you have to train people how to treat you.
Exactly.
Because if you don't, they'll do what they like.
They'll do what they like.
So you have to train people.
Exactly. And then you end up feeling overwhelmed or what have you and wondering why. It's because you allow that.
You allowed it. You can't blame anybody else
but yourself.
But yourself, right? All right, YCTC fam, I know a lot of you out there own your own businesses and it is tough. You wear all the hats and sometimes it can be overwhelming and sometimes it can be frustrating and most times you're ready to just throw away the entire business. But I'm here to tell you there is a solution for you to be able to do the thing that you love. It's outsourcing to the virtual assistant, a business support and social media management agency geared at moving the overwhelmed, frustrated small business owner from chaos to clarity. We can give you assistance in admin support and social media management. For more information, shoot us an email at hello@the246va.com or follow us on Instagram at _the virtual assistant for more information. All right, guys, back to the pod. You spoke on self-care. I remember I've been in small business because I juggled a job and my business part-time for a long time. And I recently took the plunge. January 27th this year was 1 full year I was in business ownership. But I usually at the beginning of the year, I set out 4 sets of vacation for myself in a year. Like four, either 2 or 1 week vacation.
Why are you my twin?
Yeah, like I don't play. Like I need sleep. And I had a friend of mine, she was like, you don't, small business owners don't take vacation. I was like, girl, that's you, sis, that's your business. That's a you problem. This good girl over here though, is taking 4 sets of vacation in a year. I do not work for my birthday. My agency is closed for Christmas from the 19th of December straight through to the 6th of the next year, full time. I'm home in Easter with my kids and I take time off in the summer. Now, that's self-care for me because if I decide I want to go to the beach and lay down, then my business hours too, I only work Monday through Thursday. Another one of my girlfriends was like, Rashida, but you're supposed to work every day. Says who? In which manual? I own the business, so I can determine if I want to work Monday to Thursday, 9 till 6. It's the same 40 hours. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday is mine. Like I do not communicate. I do not respond to emails. I don't do nothing work related. If I choose to, internal business is what I do. But like, I've set those self-care boundaries. So how do you manage to prioritize self-care while running a small business? Because this is, you just come over into this world like full-time now. So how do you prioritize self-care? You know, when we were talking about meeting, you were on holiday. Whoop, whoop to that. So how do you prioritize self-care and share some practical self-care strategies for the YCTC family?
Well, everything that you just said, literally. Like, when I tell you, like, you're my twin.
Listen,
I have people who say to me, but you always on vacation.
Yeah.
I have to take vacation every 3 months. I have to. I absolutely must. Because coming on to the end of that time, I feel it in my body. I feel like, okay, it's time for you to take a break, Lesley.
So you take vacation every quarter?
Yes,
I love
do.
that.
I do. The same thing you mentioned about December, halfway December to the end. Done. I'm not doing anything.
I got my curtains to put up too.
Right.
And time to buy. Hello.
Exactly.
I'm still the person that wants to enjoy the things of the season. So I get so much stick for that. Like so much stick. And I tell myself, if you can't align with that, you are not my client.
Correct.
Again, the people pleaser has gone. Because usually be like, well, okay, maybe I'm done with that. Like, this is the period. We will cooperate and work to suit. Your stuff will still be managed throughout the month. But the agency, and this is where systems come into place too.
Exactly.
So you take vacation every quarter. I love that. I do love that. So what other strategies do you put in place for your self-care?
Additionally, I think the first thing, as far as determining a self-care strategy, is for you to remember as a business owner that because you take time away from your business is not going to fold and collapse. Especially, you mentioned systems, especially if you have the right systems in place, right? See, technology,
automation,
exactly. Technology has its merits, but then it also has its issues.
Yes.
And I find that we're so attached to our phones, right? The WhatsApp business, the emails and stuff. You need to set your own boundaries, right? So for me, self-care is when I'm not at work, I am not at work.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
So the fact that you WhatsApp me at 8 p.m. on a Friday night, I'm going to respond to you on Monday morning at 8 a.m.
You understand?
That's correct. Because, again, you're training people. If I respond to you, even if I respond to you and say to you, okay, let's deal with this on Monday. The point is that you've gotten a response. So you are going to continue to do that. Right? Really and truly, I always love if I message, because I have friends who have businesses. Their WhatsApp business is also, they use it for personal as well.
Right.
I love when I message you outside of hours. I'm messaging you like just to have a chat or whatever as a friend.
Message.
And I get the away message.
Love it.
I love it. I know that you're going to message me back later.
Right.
But I love that you're putting that out there
Correct.
for other people because that's so important.
It is.
As far another strategy that I would say is important is to recognize that self-care is doesn't have to be this big grand.
That's it.
Like you don't need to book a whole
day
at the spa.
And listen, self-care for me is sushi from lanterns and a good cold
You understand.
Like that's like
you understand.
A macaron from
Green
Monkey.
Exactly.
Like self-care for me is getting my nails done. Like that is paramount. Like I don't shirk on my nail appointment because that's my therapy.
Your time.
Big up to Nail Doc. That's my therapy. Like we kiki for 2 hours and she knows when she books me, if I come for 9, her next appointment is 12 o'clock because it's therapy. We have to talk about the month since you last saw me. So that's my, it doesn't have to be this whole grandiose. And I think we've put self-care in this place of it has to be this big grand event. It doesn't have to be. Self-care could be sleeping until 12 o'clock.
Thank you. You understand?
Without apology. Like, sleeping in. Like, self-care could be binging a series.
Yeah.
We have to be unapologetic with taking care of self, however we feel our self needs to be taken care of.
Exactly.
And a lot of us aren't in the interest of small business ownership. There is no balance, right? So I'm going to let you plug here. You have a journal, which I absolutely love. And there's a prompt that you have in there that goes, well, what happened was, I was like, this girl needs to get out of my brain. There is a journaling prompt for you to start that says, well, what happened was, I need more pages in that section, Lesley. Just saying. That part could be the whole journal.
Version 2.
Listen. So tell us about that. I saw that it was done and I look at those things because I saw you did it through Canva. I must Canva stand.
Thank you. Thank you.
So tell us about that creative aspect, like you creating a journal, putting it out there, going through that process for other people who might want to do something similar.
Sure.
How does that work?
So first of all, it started with need. You know, they say necessity is the mother of invention. Sorry. And I have used journals before. I love journaling. Yeah. But for me, it was difficult to find a journal that I felt really connected with me in terms of, so you have a journal that's just blank pages. And then you have journals with so many prompts that you feel overwhelmed.
Yes.
Or you feel like, oh dear, if I miss a day, then
I'm not worthy. Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
This is it.
Yes.
And then you put down the book and never go back to
Correct.
it. Right? So I wanted a healthy balance of space for you to write your thoughts, as well as there are prompts in there, on each page, as well as the actual prompts that cause you to think about it. And it's called a self-love journal. It's available on Amazon, as well as directly through me. I always have journal, I keep them in the car.
Yeah.
You understand, right? And as Rashida said, there are, on the blank pages at the top, there are things like, what happened was.
And I started that journal like, girl. Literally, it goes like, what happened was, and my thing is like, girl.
Exactly.
Because it feels like, yes, I'm only journaling. I'm not crazy, people. But it feels like you're kicking with your girlfriend. Yes, because those are the things that you just get on the phone like, girl, what happened was. Like literally. And then the verbal vomit comes.
Exactly. And then everything comes.
And then there was another one was like, well, I literally goes, well. I love it. So the prompts are so relatable. Thank you so much for that. So if you want journals, hook up your girl, link your girl. And journaling for me as a small business owner helps to clear the brain. Like, it's not fog. It is like, traffic on a Monday morning for school.
Oh, yeah.
Or 6211 computer tabs you have open and your computer moving real slow, but you don't want to shut none of these tabs because something put this here you need. That is my brain, 29/9, not even 24/7. So journaling helps to dump that, to mentally close the tabs, to get the thoughts out, because I got real business ideas in here. I know they're in the journal.
Exactly.
So it was a great space for me to dump, and I firmly believe in keeping the money moving in the local. So I could have bought a journal online. I could have bought a journal on Amazon. But for me, I want to really take in that person who took the time as a Barbadian to create something that can stand with international level journals. It definitely can stand side and side with it. I love the creation of it. I love the hummingbird design on the front. Hummingbird is one of my favorite animals. It represents so much, but let's not get into that because I'm gonna get deep and I make crazy, so we not go there. But I love the hummingbird, the mandala, everything that is on the cover. I align and relate to so much. So when it was gifted to me actually by a girlfriend of mine, and when I saw it, I was like, what is this? I want to send this to all the women in my family. So my sister lives in Canada, but I saw you have a Canadian link that you can.
Yeah, so it's on all the major Amazon markets. So .ca, .it,
y'all don't have no reason.
There's no reason
to have a journal that prompts you to be like, well, today I almost killed him.
Yeah, no, it's true.
You can do that.
I'm glad that you made note of the cover.
Yes.
Because so much thought went into me creating
that cover. I saw that detail for sure. The detail in it is not just like you went on Canva and decided to do a journal. It had significance and meaning. So for me, that's why when it was gifted to me, I was definitely like, okay, this is something that I want to probably put into, I give out end of year thank yous. It'll probably be something that I put in my little, because then I go to every business owner I know, pull together something and give it to significant people who work with me through my journey at the end of the year. That's definitely gonna be so you can hear from me.
No problem.
You can get some, we're gonna give you all some journals so you can prompt and journal just like us and close the tabs out of your all head.
Please.
It don't gotta be that busy. Just shut them down. All right. So you have mentioned time management, and I talk about time management all the time on my virtual assistant page, and a lot of small businesses be like, what? I don't have enough time. We all have the same time. So delve into your time management strategy. Remember you said you write everything down. So I have lists for days, books for days. So if you do delegate, and we chatted about that before the pod, how do you decide which tasks to handle yourself and which ones to hand off?
Okay, so there are tasks that I really, really enjoy doing.
Okay.
I am going to do those myself.
Right.
Because I enjoy doing it, so it doesn't feel like a chore.
Okay.
So when I think about, okay, so today I need to create some content for my page, that excites me.
Right.
So I'm going to do it, right? Things like dealing with the books.
The accounts.
Yes.
Yeah, the money.
And making sure that my schedule is the way that I need it to be and stuff like that. Or crafting emails to send to people who want to connect with me or what have you.
Right.
I tend to
delegate that.
Okay. Because I don't enjoy it. And because I don't enjoy it, I'm either going to procrastinate or not do it at all or do it poorly. Right? None of which we want.
Correct.
Because that's not useful for the business. That's not going to help.
Y'all listening? If you don't like it, get somebody else to do it.
Exactly.
Please embrace that phrase. Get somebody else to do it. Because if you're not going to give it at your 100%, you're not going to do it well.
Correct.
And what's the point of half-assing it?
Exactly.
Like, do it
and when you do that, when you don't put in the full essence of you,
right,
your clients feel that.
Oh, do they feel it?
Your energy is in everything.
I'm telling you. They don't understand that. It is in everything. So if you don't feel it sending an email, you're going to send a shoddy email and people are going to be like, she didn't want to send this. There's no love in this email.
Exactly.
There's no energy in this email. Versus someone who wants to make sure that they communicate effectively. You're going to feel that.
Listen,
you write down everything you delegate and you delegate the things. I tell people, if it makes you go, let somebody else do it. If you side eye it like, I got to balance my books, find an accountant because get somebody else to do it. If social media management is something like, what is an insight? What is engagement? Get somebody else to do it because you want to make sure it's done the right way. So Lesley, you mentioned this dream of yours came out of experiences 10 years ago. What advice would you give 18-year-old Lesley? She's probably now coming out of school, heading into med school.
You're trying to make me cry?
Don't do it. But if you gotta do it, we're gonna do it. If you gotta do it, we're gonna do it.
Advice that I would give to my 18-year-old self is you are going to be okay.
That's everybody. Everybody said that so far.
You are going to be okay. And regardless of what other people think, just go with what feels good to you. As long as you're not hurting anybody in the process, unapologetically go with what feels good to you.
Love it.
You are loved more than you could possibly imagine.
Ooh.
And you have so much love to give. And there are parts of you that cannot be found in other people. And that's what makes you absolutely unique. So make that your strength. Pull on that. Because there's absolutely nobody else like you.
18-year-old Lesley, you're in good hands, girl. All right, Lesley, tell the YCTC fan where we can get journals. Tell us about you have something coming up. Tell us about that.
Sure do.
Plug away, girl. So tell us where we can find you on socials, about your retreat that's coming up, your journals, just everything to do so the YCTC fam can benefit from Lifestyles by Lesley.
It's your girl Lesley at the beautiful Naniki Resort, where Recharge the Retreat will be held from October 27th to 29th. An all-inclusive weekend, so just pack your bags. Come, you're going to enjoy chef-prepared meals, all drinks, all snacks. Of course, we got free gifts and goodie bags just for you. And our activities are going to include sister circles, a sound bath, gentle yoga. Everyone is welcome for the yoga, beginners included. We're going to have a cleansing bonfire, walking meditation. Most importantly, you get to connect with women just like you who understand the value and the importance of self-care, unplugging, and recharging. You do not want to miss this, trust me. Check out the website, drop me an email if you have any questions. I really cannot wait to host you. So I'm having a retreat. It's called Recharge the Retreat, and my target is millennial women, especially business owners. But you don't have to be a business owner, whether you work in corporate, whether you work in medicine. Just as a woman who feels like you have a lot on your plate, and you're at a point now where, you feel you need something to uplift you. You need to get back that oomph, get your groove back, what have you. It's a weekend retreat, the last weekend in October, 27th to 29th. It's going to be held at the lovely Naniki Resort.
Oh, that's beautiful.
We got things lined up for you. Yoga. You don't have to be a yoga pro. You never even had to have done yoga before.
Okay,
we got you covered.
Okay.
Sound bath, forest bathing. So holistic activities to, recenter you, rejuvenate you, bring you back to who you are, the essence of you. All inclusive, chef prepared meals. Girl, you're gonna have goodie bags, all things to, make you feel good about yourself. I guarantee that when you leave the weekend, you are going to be in a different space.
This seems, this sounds like,
like you need to register.
This sounds like I need to register. So we can just put a link for you to register somewhere here.
Yes.
This sounding good. So retreat, October 27th to 29th.
Yes.
Journals on all the Amazons.
Journals on all the Amazons. If you're in Barbados, you know that we just got killed with Judy's. I have journals here that you can buy. Just buy it from me.
Socials?
Yes. So on Instagram, I am at Life by Lesley Reece. My Lesley is spelled Lesley, but Rashida's gonna make sure that you get the link here.
Yep.
And
she got covered.
Once you go onto my Instagram page, you use the link in my bio. You will find the links to everything: the journal, self-care manual, the retreat, my website, my coaching program, anything. I am completely approachable. I want every woman to know that everything that I preach, everything that I teach, every experience that I share with you, I have been through it. I have been where you feel like you are right now. And I've come a long, long way. All it takes is dedication, self-work, and you can be the best you that you possibly can be. Just work with me.
Lesley, thank you so much for being on the pod. I had a great time chatting with you. I am definitely going to talk to you about that retreat. So, YCTC fam, we're going to wrap up this episode. And remember, you could talk chalk. We're going to get it done. Thanks for watching, YCTC fam. Be sure to spread the word and encourage others to take in these gems from our local entrepreneurs. Also, follow us on all social platforms at You Could Talk Chalk. See you next time.